this is our pretty boy David. We're going to get his perspective because he's kind of local here also on the storm because he hasn't heard us really on it. I want to see what he thought, his perspective. And then I was going to offer him out as an escort. And I was going to say that even if it's a man, we'll man whore him out, but it's definitely going to cost more.
You're actually behind the times. You are way behind the times.
Why?
Because David is a modern man. I went into the bathroom this morning. He was in there taking dick pics. So
who was he sending them to?
I don't know, but it looked like he was swiping right. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
so he was sending dick. Look, here's the thing.
I'll be like, hey, show me the pussy. But I can't say that I have ever fucking taken. I've never even had a chick be like, hey, send me a picture of your dick.
Here's the truth. No chick likes to see dick pics, right? No chick likes to see dick pics. If she humors you and she's like, yeah, wonderful, your dick pic, they don't like to see your dick. The only people who like to see dick pic
are dudes. Dudes that like dicks.
And David was in there fucking blasting away. I think he was even using the flash a couple of times.
I'll be like, hey, you see this fucking swollen up vagina? That's what I'm going to do to you, baby. Like, I've never had a chick be like, hey, I want some dick pics.
Yeah, send me a dick pic.
So I've been looking at storm shelters.
Storm shelters? I have to for some
because we always prepare for the event that just happened.
Yeah.
We always prepare for the emergency we just had. I've heard somebody say that. I'm like, isn't that the fucking truth?
It's the same thing with the military. The military is always fighting the last war.
That's
whatever the last war was, that's the war we're fighting.
That's a good saying, man.
We're never ready for the next war.
So you can save a lot of money by like sticking one in the corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they have these bolt together kits. How safe is a fucking bolt together kit? I mean, it's better than what we're standing in right now. But how safe? Plus, then we have that fucking thing in the corner that's in the way and is now fucking bolted, hilty nailed to the ground or whatever. I like the idea of having it in the floor, but I feel like it's going to be one of those things. Like once you do it, you're going to be like, oh God, we're trapped in here and it's filling with water. Or, you don't know until you know. We've had these things that we've just had in our heads for years and we finally go get them and we're like, oh, this is a terrible idea. And nobody tells you that.
I saw
the dude selling it's going to sell you the in-ground one because it's $2,000 more.
And those are, for some reason, and maybe it's just because of the plastic one or the fiberglass ones.
I don't want the fiberglass.
Every time I've seen somebody that has actually had a fiberglass one, it's always a picture of that thing full of water.
Oh.
It's always a picture of the lid off and the water halfway up the stairs. So that's a terrible thing to figure out. But I saw one this weekend. I was looking at it and I'm like, man, I really want that, but I bet it's fucking super expensive. It was a wheelchair accessible.
Yeah, I did too. So you put in storm shelter on Marketplace. That's where I just was.
And I'm like, man, that looks like a real bunker. That looks like a real bunker. That looks like something that I would run in and get my machine gun ready.
They excavated down.
Yep.
It has a ramp.
Yep.
And then they poured a slab, and now they're gonna like cinder block it up, 8801s or something, and then rebar it. And
I saw that. I'm like, man, that's the one I want.
Did you see the one that was half storm shelter, half gun vault walk-in room?
I didn't see that one.
That was pretty nice too.
Yeah.
Same thing you were talking about doing at the house.
That's the problem. The problem is, I am not going to make just a storm shelter. Like, there's not going to be this concrete bunker sitting somewhere that's empty. I'm probably going to have a TV in there. I'll be spending most of my time in there.
Why don't we just bunker like we're trying to put a storm shelter in here. Why don't we just fucking cinder block the whole building? Let's just bunker this. What is this?
It's possible.
4,000 feet? I think we're 4,000 feet right here. Let's just make this bomb-proof.
Too expensive.
But I like the idea where they come in, they cut the concrete, dig the hole,
and put the
thing in, fucking bolt it in, pour some more concrete, and you have the slide door, right?
Yeah.
That way I can still park cars and shit in.
They have that same one that uses a hydraulic lift.
I've seen it. So in case you're trapped,
lift like 1,200 pounds or some
shit. And then there's some of them that are like 3 by 5 feet. I can't even lay down in 3 by 5 feet.
Yeah, no.
And then you see the ones that are like 10 by 60 feet. I'm like, if they got a 10 by 60, they probably got a 20 by 60.
Yeah.
Or what if we put 2 10 by 60s next to each other? That way, if Sebastian ever happens to be here, I can lock his ass in that other fucking side.
In the other side, yeah. Everybody run to the storm shelter, and then you get in your own one. It has to be big enough to lay down. That's what my feeling is.
Yeah, you're going to be there a minute probably.
Yeah.
If you're to the point where if I'm here and there's a storm, I'm probably not just going to be climbing out of that motherfucker. All this shit's going to be on top of that. Or fucking trailers from 2 miles over are going to be on top of me or something, or cows.
I feel like you have to have one that you can sleep in.
I should have one that we can.
Because you're
I would like to just be able
what
to.
are you, 6 inches from the sky when you're laying in bed?
I would like to just be able to drive my car into my shelter.
That would be cool too.
Because if you just drove like the Excursion in there, you can totally sleep in the Excursion.
Yeah.
So what about, everybody wants to do these shipping containers, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, as long as it's in the ground, the tornado doesn't really vacuum things up. It only like comes through them.
Yeah. Over top.
Yeah. So we can take a shipping container. We know we buy them for what, $3,000.
Yeah.
Fucking trench right in there.
Yeah.
Put it in there. Run a bunch of rail ties across it.
Now, I've heard that, and I've also heard that is a terrible idea.
How come?
Because the rail tie weight will push in the sides on the thing eventually, and
Only the corners, yeah. That's right.
so
only the corners are load bearing.
only the corners are able to
So
hold
maybe
that
we
back.
do a 20-foot shipping container.
20 foot, all right.
Frame it in somehow, and then pour concrete over the top of it.
That's doable.
I
feel like it's doable.
I think it's safe just trenching in and like pushing it in there. It just looks ugly. I want to cover it up. I just want to see the doors with like.
Yeah, you'd have to anyways, because
it just looks fucking ugly.
It looks ugly. But if you're gonna, the problem is if you're gonna do that, it's when all said and done, it's probably cheaper to do it out of all concrete.
Yeah, it probably is. It's probably cheaper to have a company come in.
Yeah.
Because that's what I saw in search and storm shelters. The prefab guys will also come in and just build you a room, in which case you can just have a block layer come in and build you a room. As long as you tie that shit into the slab and fucking run some rebar and shit.
Yeah.
Or we could just inflate a weather balloon and shotcrete it. You know, like they do the dome houses.
Yeah. Well, they have inflatable concrete. You know that, right?
Yeah, but you still got to put a bladder or something in there.
Well, no, it's a weird ass new shit that they have for making. It's for making military shelters without having to bring in concrete and without having to. All they do is they fucking inflate this thing, and it's concrete.
And then it gets wet.
They just fucking hose it down. I don't even think they hose it down. I seen a video on it, and I was like, man, I really want one of those.
Being that I haven't seen it, and the military has it, it's probably really expensive.
Oh, I'm sure
it's really expensive. When it's not coming from Home Depot.
Inflatable concrete? That's got to be fucking.
So they have concrete. They're pouring concrete driveways and shit now that water passes through, so that it actually goes into the earth rather than all the runoff and shit. Runoff, yeah. And then they have concrete also that light will pass through, translucent concrete.
So the grass will grow through your fucking driveway? If water can get through it,
it might.
If water can get through it and light can get through it, then
that's a good
it's going to be less of a driveway and more of a.
It might. All right, so we were talking about water storage.
Water storage. We
have IBC. You know, when we were adding up all the water, I'm like, well, I got fucking 2,000 gallons over there. I got 1,000 gallons there. I've got 100,000 gallons up top. I've got another 325. I didn't even take into account the 325 times 10 fucking sets we have for the aquaponics bins.
Oh, yeah.
That's another 3,000 gallons right there. So we've got the IBC totes. The way we've been doing them is we have the IBC tote stands for International Bulk Container. Typically, they're 275 to 350 gallons each. The ones we have are about 4x4 by 4. Come in a cage. You can forklift them. You can move them with the tines on a tractor. You can put a chain around them and lift them with, you know, most tractors will lift them with a bucket. Excavator, no problem. So, or you can just dump them out and then put them where you're going to put them and fill them in place. But Jeff was like, I want to stay, because we were talking about 1,000-gallon bulk containers, and that's what I'm looking at. They're about 7 feet across. I think they said 7 feet across for 1,000 gallons is what we were looking at. Because I want to put some of those. We've got all the downspouts, and we basically have the property right now set up so that water leaves the property. We don't have any swells in place. Our water, we evacuate a lot of water off the property, which ends up in the river over here. I want to have the downspouts that we already have moving water. I want to run them into this and then have the overflows from there go into the same systems we've been using. So if I can put 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, it fills up and then the overflow goes out and then it constantly circulates that water in theory. So right now we have 325 gallons, and we've been elevating them on rail ties, and we take the rail ties and cut them in half. A rail tie is what, 8 feet? 6 feet.
I think it's 8 feet.
It must be, because it's about the same.
4 feet,
They're
yeah.
actually bigger than the containers,
Yeah.
right? So we take them and we link and log them up. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And we get them up. The rail ties are about head height. I'm 5'8", so probably 5 feet off the ground. And then we put the container up there, and then we fill the containers in place with the hose, and the water stays there. Now I hear everybody talking about you've got to paint your containers, they're going to mold, they're going to, all this shit, right? Well, who gives a shit? It's still cleaner water than getting it out of the gutter or out of the pond over here. But with that said, we put city water in all of our containers. They're airtight. I bought fittings so I can run a garden hose to them, and they're all elevated so that we can use hoses to move water where we need to. We don't have any algae growing in them, at least not from the outside, and they're clear. You can see through them.
And that one up on the hill has been full for
Years.
2 years?
Tyler filled that thing.
Yeah, so at least.
So as long as you, and people talk about how much chlorine you need to put in. If you're running city water, you don't need to add any chlorine to your water. It is chlorinated. So that's how we have it. I have a bunch of 55-gallon drums. I've got at least a dozen here on the side that have been sitting there. And what we found was, what I found yesterday, they're upside down because some of them don't have the bungs. The bung is the round thing that screws inside there. There's 2 of them, 2-inch bung fittings on both of them, each container. We had them upside down because some of the bungs were out, and I didn't want it catching debris and bugs and shit getting in there. What we found is nature will do nature things, and nature grew seeds, got right there where that 2-inch bung was, and grew up inside there, and grew a whole entire fucking tree inside this thing. And then the tree died, and then the next year some more tree grew, and then some grass on this. I've got 4 or 5 of them that are so full of debris that it's not even worth trying to get them out of the 2-inch opening. We'll just cut the lid off and use those for nest boxes or goat houses or whatever we use them for, storage, trash cans, whatever. With those, you also need to get a bung wrench if you're planning on buying some barrels, water containers, search 55-gallon drums. Get a bung wrench off Amazon. You can get a plastic one, you can get a metal one. The plastic ones are non-sparking. If you're not dealing with fuel, it doesn't really matter. The plastic ones, anything plastic you leave out in the sun, eventually they crack. So the metal one, or aluminum or magnesium, whatever it's made of, that might be a better way for you to go if you're not dealing with gasoline.
Buy 4 of them.
Buy more than 4 of them. We've got, how many did you say we had?
A lot.
We had, like, Cody's like, what do I do with these? We had a dozen of them because I got them to store at different properties and stuff. Looking for them all weekend, couldn't find them. Jeff's like, I think the power room. I go in the power room. I'm like, I've already been back here. I know they're not back here. I turn around, walk out. There it is. I'd walk past 100 times. It's in a box on the floor over there. 1. I don't know where the other dozen are. So buy them, keep them where you keep your containers, maybe bungee cord it around one of them, tape it in place, whatever it is.
Especially if it's something you need to get into.
The other thing along the lines of sun will destroy everything, these 55-gallon drums that are sitting out there, I pushed one to the side. I heard some weird sound. When I pulled it up, a big chunk had cracked out of the side. Luckily, it was one that had a bunch of shit growing in we weren't going to use, but they became brittle after sitting there for a couple of years in the sun. The nice thing about the 55-gallon drum, if it's full of water, you can kind of I thought we could just kick it sideways and no problem. Apparently they will break depending how long they've been in the sun. You can roll them where you need them. They do make a dolly for moving that. You can do it on a normal dolly if you tie down, use a ratcheting tie down, kind of hold it in place. We have some with big wheels, but typically a drum dolly will have little skateboard wheels. So what that means is you're not using it in the gravel or out in the dirt. So be aware of that. The smaller volume of water, the easier it is to move it. The larger volume of water, the easier it is probably to collect it.
Yeah, you're looking at 600 plus pounds.
7 pounds a gallon.
Yeah, so you're fucking heavy in a 55-gallon drum full of water or fuel or whatever.
The other thing to remember too is where you're storing that. You got 1,000 gallons. That's 7,000 pounds of water. It's gonna leave a dent, you know. If you're storing that inside a shed, you want to check that framing underneath. I hear people talk about it cracking concrete. We just always did whatever we wanted to do when it came to concrete, but I'm sure somewhere it could be a problem. That's the water. Then I started looking at fuel. I knew we had a bunch of fuel stored. We spent a lot of, I spent a lot of time chasing around gas cans. And then the big problem with the gas cans was, especially you want to store with the NATO gas cans. And there's a bunch on Amazon that are cheaper. They look the same. They are not the same. Just search NATO gas cans, search Chinese. You'll find some good papers, good writings on the difference between the two and how to tell. Storing 5 gallons, everybody gets stuck on this nozzle thing. Don't worry about the nozzle. Get a good containment and then use a jiggler siphon or a bulb siphon for priming a boat, something like that. Don't worry about no matter how good the nozzle is, it still sucks compared to using a siphon. You just have to elevate it a little bit, put it in the bed of a truck. It takes 2.5 minutes to fill 5 gallons into the truck. You can do that in a car, you can put it on top, whatever you have to do. You could have a little step ladder where you just set it up on a step stool, and then as long as it's higher than where you're putting it, you're fine. But I have 55 gallon,
Easy
55 gallon cans. It gets to the point where you're spending a lot of money per can to store the fuel when you can get syrup containers that are 15 gallons. They had like Dr. Pepper or Coke. They're blue little 55 gallon drum looking things, but they're 15 gallons. You can still maneuver those. I store kerosene in there. You can store fuel in there. You can store fuel in 55 gallon drums. At that point, if you need to move it, you can siphon it out of the drum into the can. You can carry the can to where you need it and then siphon it in that manner if you can't get whatever you're filling straight to the bulk fuel. Past that, you want to look at elevated tanks. We have 330 gallon elevated tanks. We have several of those. They caution you not to put fuel in those. I see guys do it. We went to fuel and then we thought better of it, and we never did fuel it with gasoline. We have diesel in the corner. I have some bulk tanks that are not filled, we're going to fill them and put them away from the building just because of the explosion issues. I guess that's a hell of an explosion when it goes off. Eli cautioned me against that. He kind of gave me that look like, are you sure? I'm like, tell me what you want me to know. Just go, I'm stopping this one.
Pro tip.
Did you want to put your Pepsi in there?
No, man, they haven't sent me no damn.
Hold on, I gotta go over there.
Uh-oh, what do we got to do?
I'm going to leave this over here. You don't want it over there.
Oh, yeah, you want to leave that over there. It'll be a rough day.
I ate bread this weekend.
Is that what it is?
I think that's what it is.
It's still in your pants,
Give
man.
it
It's
a
going to
little
come
loose on
over.
the weekend and slip a piece of white bread or something.
Beer bread. All right.
All right, we're back.
Are we on?
Are we on?
Oh, we're on.
Stay on?
All right. You
Okay.
got anything to add to all that?
I don't even know. I completely forgot
Fuel.
what we were talking about.
Bulk fuel. 5
bulk
gallon,
fuel, yeah.
55 gallon,
You
300.
can get, in the NATO cans, you can get a 2.5 gallon NATO can. You can even get a 1 gallon NATO can
Useless.
from the same thing. That's perfect if you have a motorcycle. And it's also perfect if you have a chick that can't lift up a 5 gallon fuel can. Same thing with the water cans. You can get half-size water cans, which are great if you have to use water. An example would be, let's say the power goes out and your pump doesn't work. Every time you flush the toilet, you have to fill the back of the toilet up with water. It's a motherfucker doing it with a 5 gallon water can. If you got a 2.5 gallon water can, boom, toilet's filled.
I like to use the Alliance water cans. I think that's what they're called. They're square cubes. Walmart sells them. They're 7.5 gallons. You can set that sucker right there next to the toilet, and you can just have it fill if you're close enough, or you can use a pitcher because it has a nozzle thing, just like a sink has. You just open it, fill the pitcher, fill the back of your toilet. And if you need to conserve water, you can put a brick or 2 bricks in the back of the toilet, in which case, you're going to have to use a brush or something to get the poop out of there, because you're not going to have as much rapid water evacuation as a 7 gallon tank. But I mean, now most toilets are high flow and low volume anyways.
Yeah.
Shit, that toilet in the men's bathroom in there will about suck you into it. I don't know why the others aren't like that, but that is.
It's got good flush. It's an old school toilet, that's why.
Did you go anywhere this weekend?
No, I did not. I didn't go anywhere this weekend.
We went to Sam's Club to get all the wire racking.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
While we were at Sam's Club, every single cart coming out of Sam's Club had toilet paper, except ours. So obviously they had toilet paper available. Then we went to Walmart over here in Waverly. And she's like, why are we going here? I go, because we know we'll see us buying all this shit over here, right? So what did we buy? We went in and just bought some canned goods, right? I thought, well, we got rid of a lot of protein canned goods when we, like I was telling Brandel, I go, we were going and buying $2,000,
Yeah.
$3,000 worth of protein every weekend. So tuna, salmon, chicken, the chicken goes bad way early. And it got to the point where we probably could have used it, but I didn't want to continue to store it just because of the age. I would eat it a few years out. I would at least, try it, but
John will eat shit that has mold growing on it. He'll just be like, that's really good. This is better with the mold on it.
so we were opening it up and giving it to the chickens and the animals and stuff, and we had so much of this shit.
Yeah.
It was taking too long to open it to give it to the animals, so we finally just put it in the dumpster. So we went to Walmart and just bought some things that looked like, we found these tamales, right? Tamales in a can, and I think there's 8 or 10 of them in there. I'm like, I'll bet those would be good with scrambled eggs. So we bought a few of those, brought them back, scrambled some eggs, took tamales, you take them out there in this wax paper stuff, you gotta take them off. Those were pretty good. I'll go buy, 100 cans of those and just put them on the shelf. Will we use them? Probably never use them. And
See, that's a mistake. John doesn't care. John will be like, let's get 8,000 cases of tuna fish in case some shit happens, and we'll just put it in the closet. If you're gonna do this,
I don't eat out of a can, man.
go buy shit that you use.
I don't eat out of a can.
If you use rosary refried beans, just buy a case of rosary refried beans so that you can work through that food. I'm guilty of that too. I've got fucking cases MRE that are they're old. They're
Those
old.
MREs are fine.
But you should rotate through
When
your
an
food.
MRE is to the point you can't eat it, you'll know because it has exploded already.
Like the worst thing is number 10 cans, right? If there's just 2 of you, and you got to open a fucking number 10 can of chili mac,
But
you're probably not going to eat all that.
But are we talking ready to spoon out? Or are we talking Mountain House dehydrated?
Mountain House dehydrated.
Put it in Ziploc bags.
Yeah,
because that
it's
shit you got to
it's just a pain in
reconstitute
the
it.
ass.
Sure it is.
So
but
get stuff that you're going to fucking eat.
you're going to pay twice as much buying double serving packs as you are the number 10.
Oh
can.
yeah, but still get stuff that you're going to eat.
Or have a way to close it up. Like if I have Gamma Seal lids. What that is it goes on a 5 or 6 gallon pail. Most people think 5 gallon bucket. Your bucket's not 5 gallons. It's typically 6.5 now. Gamma Seal goes on there and then has an airlock where you can unscrew this thing. You don't need that on 5,000 pails of wheat, rice, and beans and all that other shit. You want it on maybe a dozen, because when you do open it, you don't want to have to keep fucking with that lid that's on there. What else?
Oh, by the way, you can get those Gamma lids at Lowe's.
They have them.
Go into the paint section, and where they have the fake tin cans that you can put your own paint in for some reason,
You can also
they
use
also have those lids there.
That gold lining that's inside those paint cans, I believe it's food safe. Check on that. I remember reading a bunch of threads about that, but people were using those to store all kinds of shit in.
Yeah, I had a buddy that
bullets.
he filled, I want to say 100 paint cans full of beans and rice, and his thing was obviously you can't save everybody. So what are you going to do when people show up that have not fucking prepared? You've got this fucking, hey, sorry, I can't let you come in here, but here's a little going away present. Here's some beans and rice.
And if you come back, we'll kill you.
Yeah, if you come back, we'll kill you. Anyways, so there's things you can do with that shit.
I like the
And
5 gallon.
Nobody's gonna go. Here's the thing: if it's bad enough where you're dragging your fucking family through the wasteland, just dragging your family through the wasteland, hoping that you don't get murdered, rape, or all of the above, you are not gonna go, holy shit, this fucking beans and rice is stored in an unsafe container. You're not gonna do that.
You're not really fully committed to survival too if you're dragging kids. The first thing that gets eaten are dogs. The second thing that gets eaten are newborns and 1, 2, 3-year-olds. That's the first thing they fucking eat. Look at any of the fucking downfall collapses of society. Dogs and cats, small children. That's the first thing fucking that disappears, whether you eat them or somebody else eats them.
And the most lethal thing that you will run into the most lethal thing you will run into in that scenario is a bunch of kids with no parents around. They will fucking gobble you down like it's nobody's business.
So, eat them. That's
Just
me.
be prepared. When you see the little girl on the side of the street,
That's bait.
and she's crying, and you go over there because you think you're going to help her, that pack of wolves is going to come out of the woods and fucking skin you down to nothing before you even know it.
That's a trap.
It's just a trap.
I like the 5 gallons is too much to send them away with. So if you're going to do that, you want to have a smaller means to do that.
Little tin paint can.
Paint can, small frosting containers. But I like the 5-gallon buckets, where everything we have is rice and wheat and hard red wheat and hard white wheat and all this other shit. But I like the small bags. You can put some rice, some beans. You can put some other shit in there. You can stack all that shit in there with a variety, and then you can put some Spam and some tuna and a can opener and some other shit inside there. And you can have, if something happened, building's on fire, you're in a collapse situation or whatever, and you have to bail, and you can't get all those containers, at least every one of those containers in the front has some of everything in it. That's another way to look at it.
So you can fill that container with tannerite when you give it out. Here you go. Here's some beans and rice.
That way you only have to use one bullet?
Yeah, you only have to use one bullet.
One
you do
bullet.
that. Good way to get hogs.
Oh yeah, I saw that video. What else you got?
That's.
So you're a farmer now?
No, I'm not a farmer. I have a petting zoo. I'm not a farmer. Farmers actually have things that they can eat, and I don't have that. I have a petting zoo.
A really expensive petting zoo.
Yeah, it's not as. I mean,
you got the most highly trained cows.
It's not as bad as I thought it would be, but it's still, labor intensive. But for the most part, Gina she's been pulling her share of the weight on that. So the only thing I've really been doing, and I've just been doing it for Nana's, I've been going out there and getting all the manure and putting it in her garden, and then I get the tractor and I fucking.
By garden, you mean that row in the ground?
Yeah, her little spot, and then I till all that manure into the spot into the ground.
You want the best manure? Go get you 5, 6, 10 rabbits.
Yeah, I mean, well,
you don't even have to keep them for a while. Just grow them motherfuckers up till they're ready to eat at 10, 12, 16 weeks. Kill them things, pull the skin off, have Nana fucking do them like chickens, and then just go in there and scrape all where those cages were.
I don't think you heard me when I said I have a petting zoo. I don't have a working farm. So no, there wouldn't be any skinning, and that wouldn't. Because
I was thinking while we were, I say we, I mean somebody, not me. Amanda was.
That's a good. Actually,
eggs.
No, it's 100%. It's a really good idea.
The rabbit.
I could put the rabbit cages right over Nana's garden, and they would, and then
because you can use rabbit,
pull those fuckers out of there.
Because rabbit manure doesn't burn. It can go right in there. And any place there's rabbits, you go up there where those rabbits were. We have 0 rabbits now. The last rabbit just died. That circus rabbit. We had a litter box rabbit that would do tricks and shit and throw itself up and want its belly rubbed. It was like a kitten. And that was the last rabbit. And all those rabbits came from the other property. So they'd been on this property almost 4 years now. Yeah. So you go up there, though, and just take a rake or a shovel and move. Fucking the biggest worms you've ever seen in the world are right up there if we ever needed to go fishing. So while we were doing that, I was thinking, well, we've got tamales, right? That's what this whole thing, the whole 2 hours
canned tamales
thought was these canned tamales. And we have all these eggs because we haven't been grabbing eggs. I went up there Saturday. I went up there Saturday, fed all the animals. Well, I was up there too yesterday, but I went up there, fed all the animals Saturday, and I just I haven't been in these chicken houses lately because we haven't been grabbing eggs. And I'm like, oh, I thought you were dead. There's the little Silky with the blue things on her cheeks, right? I saw 4 or 5 birds I hadn't seen. I don't even know where they came from. I think they hatched out over the year. So they were on the nest boxes because the nest boxes are sitting on the ground now. I'm like, so one comes tearing out, and I look, and there's no eggs. The other one, I kind of reach in, she starts pecking me, and there's probably 20 eggs sitting in there. One of them's rotten. She's trying to hatch them. But my thought was all of our chickens are old at this point. So I think tomorrow we'll go grab a bunch of chickens from the flea market, whatever layers they have, add them to the flock, kill some of these ones off that aren't producing, and then we'll be back in eggs. Because it doesn't take shit. I mean, we're already feeding them, and now the bugs are about to all pop,
Yeah.
and with all the mulch and the leaves that we've put on the property over the winter,
There'd be lots of
there'll be
bugs.
tons of bugs. We won't have to supplement feed them a whole lot. And then we need to put the berm up on the little pond, and I need to run some kind of water line. Like, we keep dragging the hose. I really just need to run a water line off, and it can come right off of that upper where it just comes in. So in the summer, we'll just have water line that runs through with waterers on it. We'll just run a pressure regulator
Oh,
right there,
gotcha, yeah.
so that we don't even have to run water to them. They'll still have it in the pond, and we've got those big giant 5-gallon waterers, but just automated a little
Yeah.
bit so it's less work. And it's not that we need it to be less work, it's that we have employees go up there and they become complacent. And if you don't constantly check on them, you will go up there and you will have animals that are dead even though they're pretending to take care of them every morning. So you always have to check on that shit.
And sometimes they'll just step over the dead animals.
Fucking crazy. So, and you can do the same thing with rabbits. You can do the same thing with your birds. So I think that's probably
That's
what'll-
probably
what'll
next.
happen.
I think that's my next thing is chickens.
So if you do chickens, you can order chickens, and they'll send you exactly what you want sexed, and then you just raise them up. And you could do a chicken tractor. You could do fucking like we're doing.
I think I'm gonna try a chicken tractor. I don't know.
You need to move it every day.
Every day, yeah.
Not a big deal. Dude, Spearco was saying he just went to a Mother Earth News thing or some big convention, right? And they have a chicken tractor that's a goat tractor, I think. They have different sizes, right? This thing was like 35 grand or something, but it's like a Roomba
With goats in it.
with goats in it, or a chicken tractor. You program it off your phone. The hydraulic wheels come down just enough to move, and it moves, and it'll move 3 times a day, however you program it. Because the idea with the animals is to move it off the property, let the animals scratch and eat all the bugs and all the seeds, but also manure right there, and it just gets ground in. So if you had let's say a 4x8 chicken tractor, and you have your chickens here, and then you move it over 4 feet, and they're here tomorrow, you can literally see the progression where they were in 10 days or whenever it rains. That grass will be just rich, lush green. You will build that soil up. And that's the whole thing with the chicken tractor. It's not just about feeding the chickens, it's about improving the soil right there as well. And you can do that with electro-netting. You can do that a lot of different ways. Spearco was just saying he just put his order in. He's going to do, I think he said 50 bronze-breasted hens this year, turkey gobblers. So he said he'll put 3 away, I think. And he said they're turning out at 50 pounds finished meat is what he's like. His gobblers are 75 to 100 pounds, I think he said, alive. And when they're literally getting 50 pounds of fucking meat out of it.
I wonder how much meat they were getting off those fucking 3-foot tall chickens that we saw at the preacher's house.
Now you say 3 feet tall, and people are like, oh, he's exaggerating. These fucking chickens, and he said they were Buff Orpingtons. So you get what you pay for. When you start looking at chickens or goats, you can go on Craigslist and find like free goats, free chickens. There's a difference between a flea market chicken that we pay $10-12 for, and then there's a dude on Craigslist outside of Murfreesboro that's got the same chicken for $100. Well, these chickens these dudes had, these chickens they were taller than my border collie. They were up to like right where my knife sits in my pocket. And I say that, and like I think back and I'm like, I know I saw that, right?
The fucking hole that they had to make was that big to get them out of the damn chicken coop. And when they came out of the chicken coop, I'm like, what the fuck is that? Is huge.
Yeah, and they keep them on shredded wood chips or tree pulp or bark. You know, they keep it deep in there, so there's no bugs. You don't have any flies. It doesn't stink, and that's what we've done. We take tractor bucket loads of wood chips up there probably twice a year. We put maybe a dozen scoops. We rake it down. The chickens poop all over it, grind it in. That soil up there is amazing. When it rains, that stuff seeps down the property. You can follow, like if you look at the drone footage when I fly the drone, from where the chickens are, back behind the garage, all the way down here behind, there's a swath of grass that is always twice as big and twice as bright green because just the nutrients that are up there. It's just amazing. What else? talk about bullets or bandages or BBs, or you got a pellet rifle?
I do not have a pellet rifle.
Why?
Cause why?
I have a pellet rifle.
I just don't. I don't have time for the guns I have, let alone a pellet rifle.
Are you laughing at me? How about a bow and arrow?
I do not have a bow and arrow. I probably should. I've actually.
They make a compressed. They make a rifle that
this
shoots.
Year I take it back. I bought a fucking bow and arrow at the goddamn at Blade Show like 2 years ago.
A bow. You bought that PVC
Yeah,
bow and arrow.
no,
That thing's
it's
pretty
that
fucking cool.
That one that folds down and you can put it in your back pocket and shit.
Have you ever shot it?
I messed with it and
Does it use normal arrows?
They use normal arrows, but
man, Jay came by and showed me his bow.
There's too much involved in.
Jay's making his own arrows and shit.
Yeah, I don't have time for
crazy. He had some weird shit going on with his feathers.
I thought maybe a crossbow.
I have 2 of them. I hate them.
But then
crossbows are for dudes that don't want to learn. Like it's faster to shoot a bow than it is to fucking shoot the crossbow. And the crossbow's loud, way louder than the bow.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel
if you want to sit in a stand and you want to like hunt 2 weeks early or something, or handicap, that's a good place for it. Like I have a 10-point. I have one I bought because it was Typhon. It's fucking super cool looking. Kind of has like this rubbery paint on it. You always get fucked with that though. Like just like the rice. Like the rice comes in those plastic bags, right? But after like 5-6 years, it kind of has like a tacky feel to it. I feel like that's how that crossbow is going to be like that. That's just going to like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like rubber goes bad kind of shit.
Yeah.
But the 10-point I have, because the Typhon one came with this lever thing, right? Has a cam thing that you got to hook onto it and shit. The 10-point has a crank on the back. You just run this thing up, and it has like a come along built into it, so it cocks itself. That's pretty cool, and it's got carbon fiber on it, so it has to be better.
Yeah, I just don't have time for that anymore. No time for bow and arrow. Come on.
Did you shoot this weekend?
I did. I actually did.
Are you storing ammo only in ammo cans, or are you to the point of putting it in tin cans, or
just ammo cans?
When you buy ammo, when you buy it, because I know you were buying ammo like at Walmart, right?
Yeah, I was.
Were you dumping it out, or were you leaving it in the box?
No, dumping it out.
Oh man, but what if you're gonna barter or trade later? It would have been nice to have it in that little.
We're not bartering. If I have bullets, I don't need to barter or trade.
Do you store coffee?
I do not store coffee.
If you were storing coffee, would you keep your coffee in the separate containers it came in, or would you just take all 50 kinds and just mix it together?
I would mix it together, because then it would be
you and James Yeager both.
A fucking plethora of explosion of flavors in your mouth when you got the coffee that we bartered for, because you had the last Diet Pepsi and I.
In your mouth meat?
Coffee.
In your mouth meat?
Yeah.
I'll bet whoever's buying that coffee would like to have a goat for some milk right then.
Yeah. Alcohol. I would keep alcohol to trade for.
You should keep alcohol anyways.
Yeah.
In small amounts. I mean, it's cheaper to buy it in big amounts, but to be able to take alcohol and put it into a smaller portion, because then the retard you're giving it to, he's like, that's going to be a problem later. He's going to get that liquid courage possibly. Hopefully, when you're trading in a common place where he doesn't know where you come from.
Down here with the Amish.
That'd be good.
I'm sure that when the world ends, that dude in his wagon will still be down at the thing.
He's still down there
with his honey that he bought at.
That's not real. I don't know what the fuck that
Walmart,
is, but we bought some.
It.
I'm looking for local honey, because you hear like the honey needs to come from within 20 miles to be good for your allergies and shit. So I bought some from this dude. He's got an Amish buggy and a horse and the whole deal. He's got some fucking chickens out there for sale. But what you don't know is that at 4 a.m. he's in fucking McDonald's with a laptop and shit. So he's like a Jack Amish. He's like Amish when it's convenient. And he's selling this honey. We bought some honey. And when we got it here and went to dump it, like normally honey's thick, right? This honey's super dark, and it's more like motor oil. Used motor oil. I don't know what was in it. We didn't try it. We threw it away. We never did any more business with that dude. Sunny has some honey, which was really good, but it doesn't do me. It's not local honey. I need local honey, for allergy shit. They said
you have a beekeeper's kit here, complete, ready to go.
I do, but bees, like, if you have the idea that you're going to raise bees and you're just going to put them out there and they're just going to do bee stuff, it's actually a little. There's some work involved with it.
Yeah, there's a little more work to just be. It's just
you got to feed them through the winter. You got to wrap them and shit. I would rather, if you're local here and you want bees, I will just buy you some bees and you can be the bee guy, and then I'll just buy the honey from you. And then when I need bees on the property, you'll bring your bees over and your bees will do the bee stuff, and then you'll take your bees with you. I need a zookeeper / groundskeeper. Like, we had a dude that was always wanting to do that. Now we need like
zookeeper / antiquities
duster. I need a window cleaner, duster, work a shovel, not scared to be outside, possibly struck by lightning, might drown but will resuscitate you.
Definitely.
Not scared of the heat or the cold. I need a crusty old motherfucker that is like just tough as nails. Because you get these kids, like, I'm a farmhand, and then they're crying that it's fucking cold outside, or they're crying that it's hot outside, or they're like, you give them this shovel.
This shovel's too heavy.
Fucking crazy, man.
Oh, believe it or not, yes, that is true.
Shovel's too heavy, or I'm like, I buy, when we go to Costco has, or had, I haven't looked at them in a long time, I see fucking stacks of them over there right now. They came in a 3-pack, and they're kangaroo hide gloves. Australia might be, we might not be getting much kangaroo right now. But these were the best gloves, man. And I would buy mediums, larges, and extra larges. And they came in 3-packs. And we had hundreds of them when we moved in here. I'd be hard-pressed to show you 3-4 packages of them. I bought every pair of safety glasses Walmart had in sporting goods and outdoor. Like, we went all over Walmart. We had ear pro, gloves, I mean, you name it, man. We'd give these dudes all this shit when we'd hire it. When a dude came on, like, here's your shit, here's your issue. And then he wouldn't show up tomorrow with it. It's like he fucking pawned it or something crazy. We'd buy shovels and rakes. We'd go into Lowe's and buy literally every one they had. And these dudes, like, we don't know I don't know if they're fucking buried up there under all the wood chips, or they were hiding them thinking they wouldn't have to do it tomorrow. And it's not like we're like, all right, you're the new guy, you gotta do this shit. We'd have everybody out there. I'd be out there fucking raking. Jeff's out there raking.
And the issue is not that. What they would do is, they would just, because people don't give a shit, they'd just be like this. Oh, we're done? I'm just gonna leave this rake right here. And we'd be out in the motherfucking woods and shit. So the next time we were just wandering around the property, I'd pick up like 9 rakes. Be like,
we don't even have 9 dudes.
Where the fuck? They all came from the same place. I will tell you, I'll be like, hey, go to the feed shed, grab a rake. There's hangers up there with all that shit on there. But for whatever reason,
they would
never go back. They would just be left out wherever.
We don't even make them walk. We got motorized vehicles. Yeah. We take them to the job site.
Yep. Get on the 4-wheeler, grab 4 rakes, meet me at the top of the hill.
What do you think you're lacking right now, prep-wise?
I don't think I have enough food. I don't feel like I have enough food. I have food. There's food inbound right now, but I don't think I have enough.
Where's the food coming from?
One is coming from California. I've already got FedEx tracking on both of them.
Good. Because I went to Emergency Essentials. Yeah. I'm like, maybe I'll bulk up a little, and then I went and looked at a couple places, and I'm like, fuck, we don't have room in here.
I bought it. As
soon as it happened?
As soon as we...
Because Emergency Essentials, I'm like, okay, I'm going to order this, I'm going to order this, I'm going to order 30 of these and 20 of these. And at least it was on there, they're like, allow 2 to 3 months. 2 to 3 months? You motherfuckers might be dead in 2 to 3 months and not ship my shit.
Yeah, so I bought it. I bought some from California and some from Canada. And both of them seem to be on their way, but...
So I ordered... antibiotics, okay? Fish antibiotics. We had talked about that earlier. I have some. I keep it actually locked all in a safe because that's some shit that'll just disappear, you know? Yeah. So I ordered more. I ordered $500 worth, which is, I don't know, 15 bottles, right? And I ordered the high dosage, 500 or 250, the highest dosage we could get, thinking we'll just split them if we need to split them. And I ordered everything I could in 100 bottles, but some of them they were only available in 30 because they'd already bought. So I ordered them, and it says, we will ship tomorrow if you order this shit. So I had it in my cart, and I typically check out with PayPal, and they didn't have that option on there. So I just, like, left it. Amanda was saying something. I closed my screen by accident. I usually have 100 fucking windows open, right? I'm searching, like, all kinds of shit, and then I'll see something else, and over here. So this company actually sent me an email. It's like, hey, we have your cart if you want to check out. I'm like, oh, that's cool. because our website does that
Yeah.
too, and I like that. So I thought, oh, they didn't send me a discount because I thought ours sent a discount. Well, ours doesn't send a discount either. It's just like, hey, I know that you just spent 3 hours on our website figuring out what you want. It's in the cart. So I clicked it. It was sure as shit there. Put my card in. Boom. Just when I went up to turn the AC off up there, I noticed I had 2 text messages. Your fish box has been shipped. FedEx tracking number. Boom. I love that. That's fucking awesome. So my thought is they're panic buying all this shit right now. I think we'll probably see a spike in sales. Well, we're starting to. I mean, you saw the stack of orders from the weekend. I think that we switch gears right now and we spin up and we build all of our micro rigs and shit because dudes they're panic buying.
Are you going to build them?
We're going to build them how we were building them. So I thought we were going to upgrade them right to where you could use them as a placard. It's not going to work as a placard. It's too wide because that rig curves on the side. There's not going to be anything to attach it to.
You're going to put Velcro on the back for the dangler?
I think we should.
I think we should
I think
too.
that's the move. I mean, that way we'll put the loops and shit. The guys are still, they're not going to, people don't fucking listen. They're going to put that on there and you're going to be like, why is your shit all over the place? Because there's nothing clipped into it, I think we do. I think we add that. I think we leave the price the same. We give them the extra features. And we just spin up tomorrow and we start fucking building those. Because all the food's sold out or they've already ordered it or they're not going to because it's saying, 60, 90 days out.
You're not getting, if you're trying to prep now, you ain't
They're going to
getting
go out. I mean, there's plenty of guns and bullets for sale.
Yeah.
You're not hearing spike in sales. Well, I'm not hearing a lot about that. I'm hearing you can't get hand sanitizer. Jeff and I were at Walmart Thursday or Friday, and they had fucking tri-walls.
Tri-walls.
4x4x4 feet full of hand sanitizer. I stuck my arm down. I'm like, I'll bet they just have like a layer of boxes down there, and there's not really that much in there. All the way down, hand sanitizer.
And that was in the weird thing is that was in the center aisle, so that was in the center aisle. And as we were walking in,
we heard a lady.
The lady in the Walmart pharmacist lady goes, "We are completely out of hand sanitizer." But then they had that in the center aisle. So just walk around, go to the. My good buddy tells me that they actually hide all the good stuff in the baby section. Smells like fresh baby bottoms.
Over exaggerated air freshener. I'll bet you use. There he goes.
He's gonna spritz it up. He's about to spritz it up.
I can taste it. It's in my mouth.
He's spritzing it up.
I'll bet you use fabric softener too, don't you?
He's been complaining. He's been complaining all day that his fucking eyes are swollen shut, and every time he puts all that shit on his hand, he goes like this. Now he's rubbing his eye. He just had that shit all over his hand. He's rubbing. Your eyes are just dry because of all the fucking alcohol that you keep rubbing in them.
So there's plenty of now that all you guys, because psychologically, here's what happens: you go to the grocery store, and you're gonna buy. You have in your head, I'm gonna go buy $1,000 in toilet paper, and you get there, and they have toilet paper. Costco's only letting you buy 3 things of toilet paper. Or so I'm seeing in videos. I don't know that to be the case, but so you go to buy $1,000 in toilet paper, you can't buy it, or they won't let you buy it. You've already mentally spent that $1,000. So then you get your little bit of toilet paper or no toilet paper, but you've already spent that $1,000. So you're going to buy rice and beans now. Terrible idea. Who the fuck eats rice and beans? Even homeless people don't eat rice and beans. They got fucking Uber food on their app on their phone that the government gave them. So you go buy $1,000 of rice and beans. So the next dude comes in to get toilet paper. He can't get $1,000 in toilet paper. He can't get $1,000 in rice and beans because you assholes yesterday bought it. But he's already mentally spent that $1,000, and he's like, "Wife thinks I spent this $1,000. I'm gonna go buy $1,000 in bullets, or I'm gonna go buy another AR-15, or I'm gonna buy some other shit, right? Buy some micro rigs. We have them. By the time you see this video,
just buy guns.
Buy some micro rigs. When you're out on your 4-wheeler rolling around property or on the national forest, and you don't have to have a gun with you, you can put bottles of water in there, or you could put a bottle of rice and a bottle of beans and 2 bottles of water in your micro rig, and still look cool and tactical. Backpack.
What about it?
Everybody needs a backpack.
Yeah, I mean everybody needs a backpack, but are we going to make a backpack?
We have backpacks hanging on the wall.
We need to make more.
You want to make micro rigs? You want to make backpacks?
Micro rigs. We need to make micro rigs.
Maybe we make a little backpack that clips into the micro rig.
That would be kind of cool.
Or the hydro carrier.
Small enough so he could put all his hand sanitizer in it?
What if you What if you just took all the hand sanitizer out of those little bottles and just put it in a Camelback? You could have a Camelback right here with hand sanitizer and one with water. How many times do you think you drink out of the wrong one?
I don't know. I don't see I don't see him ever drink water. So
would that be? You've never drank alcohol? Never, because straight edge, right?
Yeah.
If you got hand sanitizer in your mouth,
that might be why your eyes are all fucked up.
maybe you need to have some alcohol.
I think I'm drunk.
Yeah, you're.
You drink the alcohol and I'll stop drinking. You go for 30 days and I'll go for 30 days. Yeah. Do you store alcohol? So back to the storing alcohol thing. You can actually make a lot of tinctures and stuff with alcohol. Store clear, like Everclear, high proof alcohol. Usually the cheaper shit, you know, but it'll break down all your herbs and stuff to make a tincture, make medicinal stuff with.
And once again, if a tree is down in your driveway and you can offer somebody a 6-pack of beer to run their chainsaw and cut the tree up, chances are they're going to do it.
Did you have a tree down in your driveway?
No, I don't. I have a chainsaw that I'm just dying to use.
That's what's going to kill you in this situation. It's not going to be coronavirus. It's going to be that infected finger. That's what's going to get you. That's what's going to knock you out. It's going to be that little fucking scratch from the chainsaw or that open wound and that infection that gets in there. That's what's going to fucking get you. It's not going to be the coronal. And we do. Do you like our coronavirus? Have you seen the coronavirus artwork? Protect your cock. Don't get corona on your cock.
Yeah.
We have a patch and a sticker and a shirt coming out for that.
That'd be good.
Do we want to bring David in here and make fun of him? No, he lost his chance.
He did lose his
He
chance.
doesn't get. You don't get to be in our video, David.
But I mean, he's already on. What is it? What's that thing that you're on, Brandel?
House arrest?
Where you swipe? Tinder. He is on Tinder. So
no, it's not Tinder. It's Grindr.
Grindr. He's on Grindr.
I thought you were on a new one called Grundle.
The Grundles?
That's my website.
Grundler.
Just pictures of me.
Just pictures of you? That you didn't put up there?
Mm-mm.
That's the best.
Have you seen all the pictures I put up? I take pictures of you every time you're here. Sometimes I put your face on other bodies.
That's the best too.
They always have big breasts. I like to picture my Brandel with big boobies. All right, I think that's long enough.
That's long enough.
Hey, if you like this, leave some comments. Hopefully we added some value, some entertainment, whatever. If you don't have a use for something we make, send this to somebody that can get something from it maybe. We have a link. Yeah, we have a link for Amazon on our site. We need to start doing review products like this horse cock right here. It's not really, but it looks like a horse penis. I mean, at least in those videos I've seen. It's a single tricep arm. Like I typically, because I'm lazy, and Amazon has good reviews, and if you take the reviews and put them in fake spot, it tells you whether it's a real review or not. So when I bought this horse penis, probably on a Sunday night, it showed up here Monday, and it's awesome for fucking single tricep. We just need to do reviews on things that we use. We do buy a lot of, well, anything we can, I buy off Amazon. I took Jeff to the Walmart. I almost said grocery store. I took Jeff to Walmart. What did we buy? All of something.
What the fuck did we go and get? I don't remember what we went and got.
Pegs.
Oh,
pegs for peg wall.
Pegs.
We went and bought peg wall, and amazingly, we bought a bunch of peg wall from Lowe's, and then we bought all the pegs at Lowe's. And I'm like, man, these are some chintzy pegs. We bought like combo kits and individual kits, all these pegs, right? And it's like, they're so shitty, they didn't even almost fill like all the hole that's in the peg wall. So we ran out. We went to Walmart to get some because I knew they had some, and the shit Walmart had was 100 times better than what Lowe's had. So we bought all of them.
John is so funny. They have a case. They have a box with all the pegs stacked in there. And he's like, should we get 2? And he grabs 2. And he's like, no, we probably need 4. So he grabs 4. There's still one in there. So there's still one in their little sleeve. And he's like, oh, we got to get them all. And buys them all.
Well, because
in the
grid down situation, there's going to be a man that needs some, and he's going to know that I have them, and I'm going to be able to barter with him.
The problem is, for some reason,
or only when I buy all of it.
When John buys all of whatever it is, if like we go back there next week, they will not have any of those. They never restock.
They had this smoked salmon stuff, so I bought all of it. They never got it again. They had these, what was it? It was chili lime almonds. So we bought all of them. They never got them again. They had this lime lime chili chicharrones, pork rinds.
Uh-huh.
They never got them again. Fucking some yogurt we were getting, they never got it. Like, I swear, they're like, oh, there's that motherfucker, we'll show him. Boom, and the manager just fucking deletes it from the system.
I think as soon as they see your name on the receipt, they're like, all right, don't order those again.
There's a conspiracy here in town. Something's going on. So, anyways, I showed Jeff the wonders of the auto checkout. He goes, I'm not doing their fucking job. I go, it's not about doing their job. Those 2 aisles that are open are full of old people. Do you hear the coughing? You can hear it all through the store because the asshole that's going to stand in there, she's going to get up there. Now, not Granny. Granny, you know Granny, she's going to have to fucking talk about church and her garden and her kitties, and then she's going to write a check. And she can't see, and she's going to need some help. But the motherfucker behind her, the welfare mom, she's got 3 separate things because she's picking shit up for the neighbor. She's got a bunch of bullshit she's going to buy on the EBT card. Then she's got some other bullshit she shouldn't be buying because if you're allowed to get EBT, you shouldn't be able to buy cigarettes and other shit. And then she's going to pay. So she's going to check out 4 times. Even though there's the appearance of only 2 people being in line, it's going to be like 6 people being in line. When we go over here to the fucking scan thing and I go, beep, 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 card. It took longer to run the card than to scan the shit. And that lady that was working, I'm like, how you doing? She's like, I'm great. I woke up this morning. I'm having a great day. I'm like, holy fuck, you want a job? Like, that's not usually what you hear at Walmart. I'm here.
I will risk coronavirus. I am not a fucking Walmart employee. I'm not doing their job for them. Plus, here's the thing. You can do one of 2 things. You can either A, go through the checkout line and help support that checker, who that's the only job that checker could ever get, or B, pay more in taxes to pay for that checker to sit at home and eat Doritos. As long as I can, I'm gonna keep supporting those minimum wage jobs and fuck the corporations because Walmart's got a compound. Walmart has their own army. How much
That's
fucking...
true.
And I'm a capitalist.
Walmart has the contract for all the Homeland Security shit.
I'm not going to vote for Bernie, but come on.
And the tunnels.
Come on.
Mine's
man.
about self-preservation and lack of frustration. I'm going to get that grumpy-ass checker tells me about how bad her morning was. We're going to wait for Grandma, and then I'm going to be frustrated by the bitch who my taxes or somebody's taxes is paying for, and she's ordering all that shit she shouldn't be buying if she's on the system.
John is really more of a shut-in. He likes Amazon Prime, so...
How many times Amazon come to your house?
3 to 5 times a week.
How long do you think before we're going to be able to ship packages through Amazon? I think that's coming. I think they're going to take over the mail.
Year.
Huh?
Within this year, I think.
Fuck, I hope so.
Taking over USPS.
I hope so. When you go to like, we have packages that are lost on the way to China, right?
Yes, they're either in Memphis or China.
So the postmaster's like, well, they could be in Memphis for all we know, or they might be in China. Well, why don't you just type in that system and see where it was scanned last?
Yeah.
Why don't you just pick that?
China.
Why don't you just pick that phone up?
It's
He's
kind of
like, just go ahead and file an insurance claim, because I don't want to make that phone call.
It's kind of that's a big. Memphis or China?
Let me know.
I think it would be in California.
Let me know when Amazon takes over, because they're not going to hire you. And let me know when you need a job, because I need a guy to, shovel, rake, pick up dog shit. Let me just come see us. I got an outside job for you. It'll be good for you. All right.
Now he's leaving.
Let me see that finger.
Yeah, get a close up of that finger. This
So-
is how we lose John Willis.
Check that out. Doesn't this look fucking, this is probably 50% as big as it was earlier, right?
Yeah, it's actually better now.
It looks like, what's that fish with that big bump on its head? What
yeah,
was that, a
yeah.
bum bump?
Yeah, the bump up.
The bum
that's
touched my
bump
finger.
up right there.
I had a little hangnail. It probably got some booty in there or something. some vagina. So, typically, because I bite my nails, typically this goes away in 2 to 3 days. Sometimes it gets a little bigger and I just push on it, some pus comes out. Well, I lanced it thinking that it was ready for the pus to come out, and some blood came out. And when you push on something, you actually end up doing more damage. That crushing kills the cells in there. So I actually finally, like the internet said and everybody said, soak it. So in Epsom salt, I soaked it in some warm water. And when I pushed on it, I could literally smell, like I saw the pus come out like it normally does. I could smell it. And then when I kept soaking it kept coming out for about an hour. And then it was literally, I sewed yesterday and I could sew for about an hour. and because I'm trying not to hit it, I'm working my arm, so I'm getting my elbow hurts, my fucking wrist hurts and shit. It's amplifying a lot of other issues. So I would get up, take some Advil, elevate it, and I'm like, I don't want to sit here. I can't fucking sit here. I need to go do, and I'd hit it on something, and I'm like, oh shit. And literally you'd feel like you're gonna throw up. So this morning I woke up and I'm like, okay, today's the day. It's gonna be ready to pop. Oh, it looks better. But then as I started moving around and doing stuff, and then I hit it a couple times, I'm like, fuck this. So I go upstairs, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna lance this. And I did, and nothing happened. Nothing's coming out. I got a little blood out of it, that was it. So I soaked it probably about 30 minutes. When you hit me up, you're like, hey, what's that song we're gonna use? I was soaking it in Epsom salt, and then it just fucking came out in the bowl. You could see it like come out, and then I just had some toilet paper, and I just push on it. Some would come out and wipe it off, push on it. Did that for about an hour, and I don't know, later this evening I'll soak it again, and by tomorrow this will be normal.